Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Hiya Syifa and I want to presentation my thesis proposal named Students' Motivation in Learning English by Using Games. And before we are start, I want to thank you for the attention, audience, and our lecturer, Advanced Speaking, Miss Dini, and let's start it. So, the background of the study is there are many languages in this world. English is considered and applied as the international language. The fact that English is one of the most important keys that open the roads of success in every area of life, and it's the only language that truly links the world together cannot be denied by anyone. Therefore, everyone inside of this world is working very hard to study English. English is used for daily conversation, education, research, and science. When someone is learning English, they will know the development of knowledge, science, and technology because most of books, articles, journals, and of science are written in English. Considering this function of English, learning English becomes more important. The writer observes that most students have low motivation and low ability in learning English. They think foreign language, especially English, is complicated because of so many rules on it. Moreover, different background of students become another problem of learning English at Pondok Pesantren Darul Falah Bisongo. That's why the writer is interested to doing the research to find out how the process of teaching learning English there and to know the types of games that the teacher used to teach English at Pondok Pesantren Darul Falah Bisongo. The statement of the problem this proposal is in what way does the able teacher at Pondok Pesantren Darul Falah Bisongo Semarang implement games, and what the score of motivation in learning English by using games. And second, objective the study. The objective the studies describe the English language teaching learning process and the implementation of games to motivate students at Pondok Pesantren Darul Falah Bisongo, and to know the students' motivation in learning English by using games. Pedagogical significance is the research is expected to give information about variety of games in learning English. Expect to give the information about implementation of games in teaching learning. Process in Islamic boarding house. And the last is scope of the research is improve English teaching and learning process in Pondok Pesantren Darul Falah Bisongo Semarang. Okay, now we move to review of related literature. So the definition of games. A game is an activity with rules, a goal, and element of fun. Using English in class can get students relaxed and enjoying using the language, mostly in games. It may be a group that could let students unlike children having grown up and do not need games to relax themselves. But on the contrary, adults sometimes feel more nervous than children when they face new things, and they are more afraid of losing their face as the sense of face develops with their age. In this sense, they do need games or any other activity that help them relax and innocent, like children to new language without being afraid of making mistakes. So the games is good media for we to learning English with more relaxed and flexible feelings. So the types of games, there are care and share. This type of game relates more to invitation and guide the learners to feel comfortable while sharing personal information with other learners than challenge. Example of game is the interview game. Then the next is games do, move, mime, draw, and obey. The learner is expected to do something non-verbally in response to read or a heard text. Example, listen and draw. What's my mime and others. The next is identity, like discriminate, guess, and speculate. These type games make the learner is challenged to identify something which is difficult to identify, or to hypothesize about something which is the compare with the facts. Example, slowly reveal a picture, telepathy text, and others. And the next is describe. The learner is challenged to describe something to another learner by speaking or writing, so well that the other learner can do something. For example, draw a picture that learner may be describe something objective, communicating his or her own feeling and others. And connect, like compare, match, and group. In this type games, the learner has to challenge to connect, compare, match, or group various items of information, perhaps picture or text, objectively or subjectively. He or she use language to describe or comment on the pain or group of informations. Let example like bingo games. And there are so many types of games, so we move the next games to motivate students in learning. Using game is an efficient way to teach English in the classroom. This way you get the best result in the classroom. So it's clear that game can increase students' motivation in the learning process. It's because the characteristic of game is fun, which gives student enjoyment and pleasure, so that student is inflexible when they are learning in the games. So, and the definition of motivation. Motivation is some kind of internal drive which pushes someone to do things in order to achieve something. Like, I want to do that because if I do that, I can become a winner, like that. The types of motivation is there are extrinsic motivation and intrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation is learning activity that occurs from the environment and someone's need that absolutely not related to the activities of their own learning. It caused by any number of outside factors. For example, the need to pass an exam, financial reward, good marks, and others. Intrinsic motivation. Each of us is motivated by needs. Our most basic needs are inborn, having evolved over tens of thousands of years. So students are motivated to do X to do the attacks are influenced by their intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. If we can make them get interest and can motivation in learning English. So the function of motivations. They are encourage the emergence of behavior or acts. Motivation serves as a director, motivation as activator. The theory of motivation is closely linked to the concept of learning. So, the encourage of the emergence of behavior or act is without motivation, there will not be an act as learning. So if we get lazy or not get interest, we just like, I'm bored and do not want to do anything in learning. Motivation serves as a director. It means that motivation drives to an act of achieving desire. Motivation as activator. This is like the engine that drives a car. The size of motivation will determine of the speed of job. So if we get a big motivation, like we can make more result of our learning, we will get so motivated and will do the best to achieve that goals. The theory of motivation is closely linked to the concept of learning. A lot of need is obtained from culture, need for achievement, need for affiliation, and need for power. When someone's needs is very urgent, and then they will try hard to motivate themselves. Motivation is crucial aspect in teaching learning process. Without motivation, students cannot do the best. So, source of motivation in the learning process. The motivations that bring students to the task of learning English can be affected and influenced by the attitude of a number of people. It's worth considering what and who these are, since they form of the world around students' feelings and engagement with the learning process. The society people live in. Outside any classroom, there are attitude to language learning and the English language in particular. How important is learning of English considered to be in the society? In school situation, for example, is the language learning part of the curriculum or high or low status? If school students offer the choice of two languages to learn, which one would they choose and why? Significance orders. From the culture of the world around students, their attitude to language learning will be greatly affected by the influence of people who are close to them. The attitude of parents and older siblings will be crucial. The attitude of students' peers also crucial. If they are critical of the subject or the activity, the students' own motivation may suffer. If they are enthusiastic learners, they may take students along with them. The method. It is vital both teachers and students have some confidence in the way teaching and learning take place. When either loses this confidence, motivation can be distorted effects, but when both are compatible with the method being used, success is much more likely. Learning language. Language is primary means of communicating thought from one person to another. Language is tool of expression for people. People really need as a conducting pair to interact one to another. Moreover, language has some characteristics. First, characteristics of language is systematically and arbitrary. Second, language is symbolized, has vocal and visual. Third, learning has conventionalities which they refer. Fourth, language as a tool of communication. Fifth, operating language in speech, communicative, or culture. Sixth, essentially human, although possibly not limited for human. And the last, language is a universal thing which acquired by all people in much same way. So, in this proposal, I just want to say, games is very good media for learning English. So if we play game simulations, we can add more vocabulary of our daily activity, and that's just the examples. So thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.